This is happening in Busan, South Korea. A 23-year-old woman, her name's Jung, she signs up for a tutoring app in search of an English tutor for her daughter.
I don't want to do this anymore.
Hey, motherfucker, you signed up.
Okay.
So then, you know, it's kind of like, those apps where it's like peer-to-peer kind of thing where you like go, oh, I'm looking for this thing, almost like TaskRabbit a little bit, but it's for tutors. So this 20-year-old woman accepts the job and she goes, yeah, send your daughter over to my house. I will tutor her for English, no problem. So then what Jung does, she doesn't really even have a daughter. She goes and she buys a fake high school girl uniform so that she looks like the daughter. She goes to this person's house, this 20-year-old woman that accepted the job. She rings the doorbell. That woman thinks she's the daughter. Jung then enters the home and then stabs the tutor to death and dismembers her entire body.
I don't want to play anymore. Your turn. Only because my bosses are telling me to.
Do what you're hired to do. Laugh.
So then she takes all the body parts, she chops it up, and she packs it into a suitcase. And then she calls the taxi. She gets the victim's phone and all her things to make it look like the victim left the house on her own. You know, like if they leave a phone, then they know something's wrong. So she takes all the stuff. She puts everything in the suitcase. The taxi takes her to the river where she like dumps all the stuff, or seemingly all of it. The taxi driver notices that she's a little fucking weird, so he calls up.
He's like, why is this 50-year-old woman in a schoolgirl outfit?
Yeah, he calls the cops. They look into it, and they discover at her house that she has some more of the body parts at her home.
Oh my God.
And then they end up arresting her for the murder of this, poor girl. They ask her, why'd you do it? She says she was curious and wanted to see what killing was like after watching shows about murder.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's so rare to have... Oh. Isn't it rare to have, like, psychopath killers like that?
Yeah, it's super rare. Super rare. I mean, it's out there.
It is
because
rare.
When you see the list of psycho killers, there's like 2 ladies and then like hundreds of guys.
And you know what's funny too? Is they're all fucking nurses.
Oh, really?
Like, a lot of those like female serial killers are all nurses.
Huh.
Maybe a correlation.
Wow. Or is that just your hate for care workers?
Probably that. My bias for nurses.
So a little bit of a background about who this girl is. So they describe her as a super reclusive person. Like she doesn't talk to anybody. She doesn't really have friends.
Oh, the girl that chopped up the other girl doesn't talk to anybody? Who fucking would have thought, huh?
She, after graduating high school 5 years ago, she just never got a job and she just stayed home all the time.
How does she fucking live, dude?
Her parents.
Oh, yeah.
Her parents.
See, jobless like people in the house, you gotta be careful.
Bro, you gotta have a job, dude. Gotta get a job.
If she got a job, she wouldn't have time to watch killer films, and then she wouldn't be curious. She'd just be too busy working.
Yeah, you gotta have something to do every day.
She definitely. I feel like when this,
right?
I feel like when this happens, and let's say like a girl does something like this, and or a guy, and they say like, "Oh, I saw a movie about it, and I wanted to try it." I think that movie was not the reason.
They're already fucking kooky in the head.
They
talked themselves into saying that the
whatever
movie.
they got in their brain, that's just how it processes information.
That's true, because if she was, if she had a job making Korean corn dogs, it's so cute.
They're so good.
It's got the potato. It's the,
What if instead of watching serial killer documentaries, she watched like Chopped, and she was like, "I'm gonna be a fucking chef." Like, what if she was curious about that? That would have been better.
Dude, honestly,
Watch
yeah.
the Food Network instead.
Yeah. If like psychologically you could kind of get in the brain of like a youth and notice like, oh, this person has serial killer tendencies, we need to like flip the script and get that energy directed towards something positive. That would be amazing. People would be incredible at skills.
Right.
Because some of these killers, if that energy was directed a different direction, how awesome would they be, right?
or I mean, like, we do need people to kill. Like, you could have just.
That's looking at the bright side.
Oh, they could be an assassin for the government?
Yeah, you could have been. I mean, yeah, you could have been a spy. Like,
Yeah, but
a spy do the same
you're
thing.
still
She didn't hide it well.
yeah, she wasn't very good.
Yeah, she was terrible spy.
She wasn't very good.
You
I
just
mean,
needed
like,
training.
she was not
no
training.
training.
It's her first gig.
You know, yeah, everyone fucks up their first gig.
Yeah, you gotta fail to learn.
Yeah. See, you gotta fail up.
Yeah.
She got the
How many
first part.
times?
She got the
Makes
school.
perfect.
She got the costume, the disguise, and then she went up to the mark. She did the job, but the cleaning was fucked up.
Yeah, you think Dexter would have done good? He would have got all those kills if he didn't have his dad guiding him. A mentor? She got no mentor.
So there's two places where she messed up, right? Her behavior in the taxi
Yeah.
and the fact that she had evidence in her home.
Yeah, why'd you drive your own car?
There you go.
Why you take a taxi?
She
have
doesn't
a car.
drive.
She doesn't have a
Oh.
car. So what do you think she could have done to fix the taxi problem?
Join the CIA because they'll be the driver.
Yeah.
Just watch more. Watch more different variety of fucking murder mysteries.
Trigger to why the
She
driver
should have
got
killed the
suspicious.
taxi driver too, and then take the car. So now you could like go dump the body.
Because she needs more experience, right? She only got one kill. She needs to get a second.
Interesting.
God, this is
I wonder what it was where the taxi driver was like, "This bitch is weird."
Well, that's what's funny is that she's
then-
probably already weird without even
Yeah.
having killed somebody.
Yeah.
Call the police. She's so weird.
So she must have not only been weird, but like
To an extent to get him to actually call the police instead of just being like, "Wow, that chick was weird."
maybe she had blood on her.
Yeah, she might have been sweating profusely, like pale skin, or like just been through some shit.
Or she was just sitting in the backseat like this. You know, like just.
Have you guys ever ran into like weird people to where you're like, "Oh, something's so off about you.
Yeah.
I'm either gonna have to call the cops or kill you."
Yeah,
It's
you know,
like one or the other.
you know what I kind of don't like about how I personally think. So the way they describe her at the end, how she's this person that doesn't talk to anyone, is really quiet, keeps to herself, never did anything. I'm scared of those types of people just generally. I always think they're gonna snap.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like discriminatory, but I can't help it. I'm scared of people that are like anti-socially, like, you know, rocking back and forth.
Well, I'm sure you've met enough people that are like that to get like a consistent vibe where you go, yeah, this is not for me.
Where do you meet people like that?
You know, like if you're just out or I guess like if you're
Meet and greets.
if you're at like Dave and Buster's and you're, you know, you just see ran into someone in the Jurassic Park game and they won't get out of the seat. That
Oh, I just
Wait, that's so specific.
anytime I'm in a weird situation, I just leave. Even if I'm like, let's say I'm jogging, and then like I'm like jogging, I go like that. I'm like, what the fuck? And it's like just feels weird. I just immediately cross the street and I go the other direction, like a very inconvenient turn,
Just to see if they
just
would.
to see what they would do. And usually they're like on their own way or whatever.
Yeah. Like, you remember when I was working in Singapore and I was dancing in this mall? There was this, like, kind of weird kid that would visit me every day. And he wasn't, like, a kid. He was, like, probably my age. But he definitely had, like, a weirdness about him. And he would just, like, stand there just staring at me. But he was, like, he said he was a fan. And then, like, every once in a while, like, he would just go... and then everyone around would have to go, hey, calm down, calm down. Whoa. And I'll be like, yo, I don't want this guy to be coming around.
Is that the handsome Ryan
Yeah,
guy?
he would say that in my ear. He would go, "Oh, my handsome Ryan, my handsome Ryan."
Do you have a Singaporean accent?
Yeah.
Shit.
He would go, "What kind of movies do you like?"
That's so
Yeah,
creepy.
and then I would.
Did you feel like, thank you for calling me handsome?
I was just trying to be nice because I didn't know like what the deal was, and then I had like a Indian host, this Indian guy who was like taking care of me, and the Indian guy was like, "Yo, that guy needs to," you know. And then every day he would come by and go, "What kind of movie do you like?" And
What
the
would you
Indian
say?
guy shoved him away one day, and he went, "Any movie he likes, let's go."
All the movies he likes. He like all movies.
Yeah, and then he would like leave, and then he would just be punching the air the whole way out of the mall, and it was just like really.
Maybe he was fighting off demons for you.
Yeah. But again, like it's one of those situations where like I feel like that was probably 20 years ago, 15 years ago. Now I feel like I would be the bad guy for being like, yo, let's not be around this dude. It'd be kind of discriminatory, I feel.
Yeah, I don't
Like,
know.
where's that fine line between
doing
like,
anything wrong?
Now you're not being accepting. In this day and age.
He's not technically committing a crime. He's not doing anything illegal, but he carries the traits of a person that could be a danger.
Yeah, but like when you're in that moment and you're actually interacting with that person, it's not just you that feels it too. Like the fact that the Indian guy was like feeling that. It's very validating in a lot of ways because it's like you know when there's a creep amongst like normal folks because you can feel vibes and shit. That shit changes.
Oh, 100%. But then again, like I feel like a lot of the time we give nowadays, I'm gonna say we give people a little bit too much of a pass, that they kind of end up skirting through what used to be social barricades, to where they go, not you, you know what I mean? But then now it's like, yeah, come on in, and then all of a sudden, disaster strikes and everyone's, you know, getting jugulars cut.
Yeah, like a guy going into like a gun store. Like,
Yeah.
can I buy a gun? And then before it'd be like, before you'd be like, no, let me talk to you on the side.
Exactly.
But now I feel like, now you have to, or else I'm like, are you denying me a purchase? You know, and you're like, oh, fuck, I don't want to fucking be a YouTube video and go viral.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I know there's different personality types, but then there's some flags that are just so deep red that it's hard to like.
This is probably an unpopular thought, but growing up, when I just ran into them, I just bullied the fuck out of them. Just like, cause they looked at, I'm like, what the fuck you looking at? I'll be like, why you looking at the ground and shit? Where the fuck are your eyes going, you know? And if they come, it's like, hey, let's just kick this guy. And then you just run up and just start kicking them. And then like they'll be like, ah! And then they run away, you know?
Hey, yo, let's kick him.
In a lot of ways,
Scared of you or some shit.
in a lot of ways, though, that's like,
They're just like, oh, dude, there's that freaking scary Japanese dude. It's like, what the fuck? I was a skinny ass guy. No, when you're like 16, you're like a scared chihuahua, right? So you just bite before you bark. Like, you're just scared.
I understand that.
So
totally,
like for me, I'm just like, oh, this guy's making me hella uncomfortable. I don't want him to be around here.
It's
like,
still your fear response.
yeah.
but like in a lot of ways, that's like one of the best ways to just keep things in check. I remember
Back then, I didn't know what a schizophrenic was. It's just if a guy's yelling, I just like push him.
Yeah, I remember. I was in Boy Scouts,
Oh my god.
and a lot of my older homies were in Boy Scouts too because they're trying to like go like special operations shit.
Yeah.
And we had this guy named Lawrence. And I remember he walked into like the Boy Scout meeting like this, and then one of my older youngs was like, "Hey, pull your pants down, man." And you see Lawrence go like. But then it was just like, you just kind of kept society in check, you know?
Your pets. It's a bizarre world.
But it's just like, if you're just weird outside the edges, it's just like, fucking just get back in the middle. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. It's like anything that goes too far off, like you're just bringing it back into the center.
Yeah, like if someone's like acting all weird, I'm like, hey, stop acting like that. Like, sorry. Shit.
Yeah, for real. That's kind of like when they go into these details about how these, you know, people were acting. It's reminiscent of that.
A little bit, just a little bullying.
Light bullying.
Just we're so sensitive.
What's light bullying? How do you light
Like
bullying?
that.
you don't
Pull
really
your fucking pants down.
Yeah, you don't like
To your ankles.
really guy. Yeah, you don't like beat them up,
No,
but you
dude.
like let them know like, you know, I'm not gonna accept you the way you are.
Why are you wearing that? Like, I think that's okay. Because then it teaches people how to like get comebacks, you know? It teaches people how to,
Why are you wearing that?
and then
What's the best comeback to that?
Your mom gave it to me. That's good. Your mom dressed me this morning. That's good. No one? Okay.